Hey, how you doing, guys? The recording stopped and I stopped too, and then I danced a little bit. So today's video, I'm not gonna have a joke, because today's video has to be like the most serious videos that I've ever done. My father passed away Monday, and today's Wednesday. I want this video to be a wake-up call to all Americans to understand that believing in God is not a joke. If you don't believe in God, when you have a family member like your dad or your mother pass away, you're going to have a much, much more difficult time. Okay, so this is to help anybody going through that because I'm going through it. First, let me tell you that I didn't believe in God in the beginning. I met God through pain. I had a breakup in a relationship. The girl didn't want to get back together. I smoked a lot of marijuana, drank a lot of liquor. That didn't help. I finally gave God a chance by going to a prayer group. And little by little, God started changing my life. It didn't happen overnight, okay? But it changed my life. And now, years later, that my dad has passed away, I see my other family members which don't believe in God. Some of them do, but they don't really believe in God. Only pain makes you really believe in God when He takes you out of desperation, you know. So I'm telling you, believing in God is the best thing. Let me show you a picture of my father. Give me 1 second. And his name was Zacarias Rodriguez. Okay, so he's this guy right here. That's my nephew. Uh, so Zacarias Rodriguez, and it wasn't the COVID. He had kidney failures. He was diabetic. He had a combination of things. He was in the hospital. My brothers were suffering a lot, having to drive from Queens to the night. Whenever a family member is going to pass away, everybody suffers. So when it finally happens, that person is in peace with God, and the family members get to rest. So remember, America, that if you're a real American, okay, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Whitney Houston, Elvis Presley, James Brown, all those real Americans believe in God. So I feel that a lot of Americans are adapting this, culture from another country. Listen, America is built on people who believed in God. Okay, our founding fathers believed in God. Okay, if you take the $1 bill and you flip it, it says, "In God we trust." The $1 bill, the most common bill. Everybody has a dollar, right? A poor person, a rich person, they all need a dollar. Because what if you have to buy something that's like 75 cents? So it's something that an everyday American has. So it's common. Everybody has it. Rich, poor, white, black, fat, skinny, tall, short, believe it or not. But if you believe in God, your life is a lot easier with the COVID, with global warming, without having a girlfriend, without having a job, uh, feeling lonely. Okay, I moved from New York over here. I don't have a lot of friends. Okay, yet I'm not a depressed person. I don't walk around sad all the time. And I've met people here that have lived here for years that are depressed that don't believe in God. You know, because in every country there are atheists too. But I'm telling you, if you're an atheist, when you lose a family member, when you lose a job, when you lose a girlfriend, when you have an illness, when difficulties come at you, you don't have real hope. Because what's the biggest difficulty of all? Death, right? That's it. That's the biggest one. And remember, one day we will go there too. I'm going to leave this place too. So the fact that I'm talking to you about God is not because I'm a goody goody. I make a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And that's the reason why I'm a good person to talk to you about it. Because I don't believe myself highly. I know I make mistakes. And that's why I am a good person to talk to you about God. So believe in God so your life can be easier with the difficulties. Nobody has an easy life. Okay? If we go to God, Jesus himself was spit on, crucified, made fun of. His disciples, some of them negated him, like Peter. He, 3 times he said, "No, I don't know the man," because the Jewish authorities were going to grab Peter. So Peter was like, "No, I've never seen this guy." And he was talking about Jesus. And Peter is the Pope. He's like the successor of the Pope. So he was going to be the leader of everything when Jesus went to heaven. So eternal life is real. God is real. And if you're an American, believe in God. Okay, because as I said before, all those names, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and the list goes on. I only said like six or seven, but I had a huge list. But I said, you know what? I don't need to prove anything, because if you if you understand what I'm saying, you get it. Even if I mention 30 names, if you don't want to choose to go that way, you won't. And let me tell you, suffering happens to everybody. Difficulty, suffering happens to everybody. It's not what happens to us, it's what we do with what happens to us. I've had suffering. My brother passed away when he was 27 and I was 13. So I could have chosen to say, you know what, this God thing isn't real. And for a long time, I didn't really believe in God. But when I was older, when that girl broke my heart and God fixed my heart and took me out of smoking marijuana, 2 days ago when my father passed away, I thought of smoking a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I hadn't gone to church. I wasn't feeling too good. And bam, I got that news. And I have a bottle of Dominican rum that I haven't opened. And I was like, maybe I should. But God said, no, no, no. You're going to make a video and you're going to tell people. When somebody passes away, don't get into chemicals, into marijuana, liquor, cocaine, because that's going to change the way you're thinking, and you're going to make stupid decisions based on guilt, regret, and all those things. So stay healthy and, go to church, pray, give God a chance. Okay? That's the video for today. Peace and hair grease. I have videos in Spanish. I make jokes. I put music. So God bless and check out my playlist. That was a motorcycle that is very common here in the Dominican Republic because it's a cheap way to transport yourself. A lot of people in this country are poor. That's one of the reasons why when Haiti has problems, we can't help them a lot because we are poor ourselves. So how can we help another poorer country? Because obviously they are even more poor than we are. More poor, is that correct? But what I'm saying is, we're not Rockefellers. We don't have a lot of money. The electricity goes. There are blackouts here. Like for 2 hours, the electricity will leave, and your lights, your fridge, everything just go. The water doesn't get it. The Dominican Republic is not a rich country, okay, but it's a great country. It's the only country that in the middle of the flag has a Bible. So trust me, I'm the person to talk to you about God because I'm not arrogant. I don't believe myself highly. And I come from a country that is the founder of America was George Washington, right? The founder here of the Dominican Republic was called Juan Pablo Duarte. And he made sure that on the flag, in the center of the flag, there's a Bible. We are the only country in the world with that is authentically Dominican. You have to, and I love America because ever since I was 8, I was raised in New York, but I also love my native country, and and that's the way it should be. Immigrants should love America and should love their native countries too, and not talk about bad about either of them, because like I said before, everything has its positive and its negative. Oh, I don't think I mentioned that. This is the second recording I'm doing. In the first one, I said my father passed away, right? I think one of the good things we should do is in funerals stop saying, oh, this person was the greatest. Let's be honest. Okay, let's say, listen, my dad made some mistakes and he had some good things. We're going to talk about the good things. He was always optimistic. Okay, he was always like in an upbeat, you know, uh, he was strong and kind. One time he brought home a Doberman for us, and I was scared. I was a little kid, and I was like, "Yo, that's a big dog." But the Doberman was kind. His name was Rocky, right? Rocky Balboa. So the dog reminded me of my father because my father was strong but kind. When you're a man, you don't have to be all macho and, yo, son, what's going on? You don't have to be like that. If you are like that, cool, but don't act like that. I know people who put on a show, what I'm saying, because I'm tough. You know, stop doing it. And another thing about my father is that he loved Vicente Fernandez. Let me take a quick drink. It's water. Vicente Fernandez is a Mexican singer that has an incredible, powerful voice. Obviously, he was my father's favorite singer, so I'm talking to you about 80s, 70s, back then. He's still alive, Vicente Fernandez, but obviously he's very elderly. I think Vicente is like uh, 80 years old or something like that. Okay, but listen to his songs because they put a lot of feeling. Mexicans, they put a lot of feeling in the singing, and they have like operatic voices, very strong. Even without a microphone in a room, they will fill the room. Okay, so God bless. Check out my playlist. I do videos in Spanish, and stay strong and believe in God with all the difficulties. Peace.